Hello, everybody, and welcome to Geopolitical Trends. So excited to be with you today. We're going to be talking about the very interesting developments in Niger. I'm not going to be talking about, who's doing what. I'm going to be talking about what's taking place behind the scenes and who is pushing whom to do what. That's what I'm going to get into this today because there are some information that the media is not really putting out forth openly and in a clear and concise language so the average people can understand. That is the whole reason why it prompted me last night as I was reading some reports in foreign languages. As you know, I speak French, I speak Arabic, and I'm very familiar with Africa, of course, with the dialects there. Uh, and I said to myself, no. I'm going to have to do live stream for my viewers here so you can have a better understanding of what's going on in this realm here. So, but before I'll do this, like always, guys, I like to extend my sincere thanks to the channel's members and supporters. For you, if this is your first time, please hit that subscription button. And don't forget to smash the notification button so you will be notified every time I upload a new video and so forth. So I also would like to extend my sincere thanks to the new channel's members and supporters. So I'm going to give them a shout out here. So I want to say thank you to Chian, the contrarian. Thank you very much for your support in becoming a channel's member. By the way, Chian has also a YouTube channel. I am a subscriber there. So it's very interesting talking about energy, dynamics, few things. Very interesting, guys, if you can check it out. So thank you very much, Chian. I appreciate it. I also want to give a shout out to POF Star Vibes. I like that screen name. Thank you so much for becoming a channel's member. I appreciate it. And I also want to give a shout out to Kenneth Edwards for becoming a channel's member. I truly appreciate it. And the last person I want to give a shout out to is Sam Chen. Thank you so much for becoming a channel's supporter. Truly appreciate it. So as we stand now, we are about 74, 75, almost 25 short of hitting that mark of 100. So I can do an exclusive Q&A for the channel's members and supporters. So I want to share just one announcement before I'll delve into the topic for you. Remember to check out the new health channel. I'm going to send you a link here, guys. I've been posting now some videos there about some health tips, like I promised. And I'm going to have, I think, first live stream on that channel next week with a health professional. So I'll post the stuff for you. I'll let you know if you would like to join us and learn about some health tips there. So, all right, what are we going to be talking about today here? We're going to be talking about ECOWAS, the economic community of Western African states. So, and the question that I'm going to just throw at you first to stimulate your thinking per se, and just to see the picture from a much wider lens, if I may use the term. The question that is ECOWAS really working for Africans, or it is supporting specific agenda, mainly France's? Yeah, you may ask yourself, well, why not the US? I'll tell you why. But it's more for France than it is for the US, and I'll share with you why. The second question we need to ask is, will there be a military intervention? Remember, ECOWAS have been saying or echoing the sentiments, we're going to intervene militarily. They have not done so. Now they put in a deadline for Saturday, tomorrow. Even with that, it has changed now to Sunday because I just checked before I came online on the air here. I just checked and I read the statements by their recent meeting in Accra, in Guinea, that they are pushing the deadline to Sunday. I won't be surprised if they will push it again. Okay. And the third question we need to ask is, are we at a point of no return? What do I mean by this? Is Africa finally waking up and saying enough of imperialism? Enough. We are not going back to that era of being exploited. Because this is what I see. Because this now paves the conversation for, are we going to be seeing a wave of military coups? Because the head of those certain countries in Africa have been sort of supported by the West. And I'll give you example about what's going on right now with the head of the ECOWAS, the Nigerian president from Nigeria. Wait until I share with you that what has not been disclosed earlier. So let me share some pictures with you because you need to see what's going on and as to basically the topics we are covering here. So what you're looking at, these are the military sort of the military chiefs of ECOWAS. So because as I said, they discuss in details of possible operation in Niger. And by the way, Washington still supports that, but not as much as what France is doing. Why? Is because France has more interest, believe it or not, more so than the US. And I'll share the details with you as to where that idea of why France. So you have basically the commanders of the ECOWAS. So now continue to meet in Ghana, as I mentioned. I'm sorry, I said Guinea earlier. No, my mistake. Ghana. And the reason for their meeting there in Accra, Ghana, it's to sort of draw up the final plan for possible military intervention in Niger. Remember, the key word here is possible. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because Russia has already warned ECOWAS of not intervening militarily. That's one. Second is that and I have a picture, I don't know if I have it here or not. No, I don't. But I do have one here that the demonstrations that's taking place right now inside Niger, it's not against the new coup leaders. It's in support of the military junta that took over now the leadership in Niger. So that's right there. It tells you. So why are you conducting military intervention if the people are in support of what's going on in their country, unless you have a different agenda? So the ECOWAS Commissioner for Political Affairs, Peace and Security, his name is Abdel Fattah Musa, said that all member states except those under military rule, as well as Cape Verde, were ready to participate in that military force, which could be deployed in Niger. But that's a lie. Why am I saying this? Because you got neighboring countries that's saying, hey, we're so close to the border. We don't want to be intervening. We don't want to have any mess with this. You guys deal with it. So this is why what they're saying in statements versus what it is, two opposite ends. So, and this is what what took place yesterday in Ghanaian capital Accra, because, and as a matter of fact, the meeting ends today, and we shall see whether they're going to deploy the military tomorrow or Sunday, if ever. So even though you hear statements coming out of ECOWAS, like for example, and I found the quote here, I'm sharing with you. I say, and I quote, "No one should doubt that if all solutions fail, the valiant forces of West Africa are ready to respond to the call of duty." End of quote. Yeah, nonsense. Are you going to be fighting your other brothers per se? Are you going to be in support of the exploitation of those countries? Because that's what it means. If you only know why ECOWAS is pushing this. So, adding to that, and I quote, "By all available means, constitutional order in the country will be restored." Yeah, keep dreaming. Keep dreaming. So at the same time, Musa himself rejected the assertion because what it's been reported. Now, if you are an analyst, you're going to be thinking about this will have to be pushed by None other than France. This is why France has heard now every insult in every dialect in Africa you can even imagine. So this Musa guy, the chief of peace and security in ECOWAS, what he's saying is rejecting the idea, and I put this in quotes, saying that France or other external powers are manipulating ECOWAS countries. No, 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 no. It is true. The reason Musa is saying this is to minimize the impact of how now ECOWAS is perceived in Africa. This is why African nations said, what the heck? With ECOWAS doing this to another country inside Africa, none other than Niger, which is rich in natural resources. So France and the US to a degree can still manage those resources. That's where the difference is. So, because it is a lie, what they are saying. So, because what all this is about, of course, ECOWAS demanding that Niger coup leaders release President Mohamed Bazoum. They are not going to do that. As a matter of fact, he's going to be prosecuted. And the justification for that because the squander of the natural resources. I wish we had not setting similar to that, of course, but I wish our leaders are being held accountable. All Western leaders now is kind of, and I don't shy away from saying it. No, I don't shy away. So, as you know, ECOWAS has about 15 countries, including Burkina Faso and Mali, whatever, but they have been now ostracized. Why? Because, as you know, 5 countries, Mali, Burkina Faso, Algeria, Russia through Wagner, and Guinea, declared their support for Niger. That's why ECOWAS is going to be like thinking twice. So what ECOWAS is now it's realizing, I won't say it's not realizing, it's realizing that it's being pushed by France, because if you know who's pushing the narrative, and who's pushing the narrative for that is none other than the chairman of the ECOWAS today, who happens to be the president of Nigeria. So this is what's interesting about this dynamics here. And let me share something with you about the head of the, or the chairman that is for ECOWAS. So I had a chance to read an article in French. I speak French, as you know. So, and it says the following: La CEDEAO poursuit ses discussions sur une éventuelle intervention armée au Niger, which translates basically to ECOWAS continues its discussions on a possible armed intervention in Niger. Once again, who's pushing the narrative for that? So, because that's what they said in Ghana, at the capital of Ghana, Accra, following their meeting today, which will conclude tomorrow. So, but here is the thing: Russia has already warned. Not about military Russia. Now, what Russia warned against is that a military intervention in Niger would lead to a protracted confrontation. And I put this in quote. Basically, what Russia is saying is this is going to go outside the border of Niger if you intervene, ECOWAS, that is, if you intervene militarily. Mind you, Wagner is already on its way there, as a matter of fact. So, and this is why the other countries, part of the ECOWAS, are scared off, because this saw what took place in Mali and Burkina Faso. In Mali, Wagner trained the Malian military, who end up kicking out France. Same thing in Burkina Faso with none other than Ibrahim Traore, which, by the way, I mentioned to you last time. This guy, the captain, is still young. He's about 33 years old, I think, something like that. When he took over, gave up his salary. You know what he's doing now? He's going visiting families in their homes, knocking doors and checking on them to make sure they're okay. When was the last time we saw a leader really not doing this, just showing up in a city and talk to the community once a month? All we see, at least in our system, and I speak on our system, we see them when elections gets closer. That's it. Yeah, you don't see them connecting with the constituents. That's what he's doing. And it says a lot. Whether you agree with his style of how he end up in power, that's beside the point. But if somebody has to make it happen that way, who's to say? Maybe later on he might turn over power to civilians if there is a competent leader. Because not I saw it. I'm aware of one case that happened in Sudan back then when a general conducted a coup, took over power, and once the dust settled, he turned over power to a civilian government that was chosen by the people. This is why I'm saying, like part of the question that I asked at the beginning, Africa now, it's now or never. Africa is on the cusp of no point of return. It's almost saying we done with the exploitation, with the imperialism, with colonialism, and with the loss of our natural resources. That's what it is. So the other thing that Russia is warning about is the idea of how the Sahel region, you all remember that map I shared with you? I don't know if I still have it here or not. I think I do. Yeah, this one right here, guys. I'm going to leave it on for a little bit just for you to see. So what they're warning about is that it will destabilize the Sahel region as a whole. And if you think about Sahel region, what do you think about? All this stretching from this part all the way to the Red Sea. We're talking about natural resources here. So this is, by the way, where most of ECOWAS countries are. So they're not going to go fight Niger. That just doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So that is where I see the idea that ECOWAS pushing for this narrative. I don't believe it's coming from within. The narrative is being presented to them through outside elements. It's no different than what we are seeing right now in Ukraine. And ECOWAS in itself, like I mentioned in my video, I remember saying this, that I compare it to NATO as far as the disunity that exists from within. Because you get members of ECOWAS now inside. They're staying quiet, but they are not agreeing with this. How can we fight our brothers in Niger? What are you talking about? It's the same thing in NATO. No difference. And now you have the locals inside, for example, Niger, waving flags of Russia in this case, because they wanted the presence of the Wagner instead of the French, and they are protesting the French military base near the capital in Niamey. So this is why France had to evac all its citizens from that part. And here's what's interesting about the crowd is chanting one word, down with France. And here is the other part of it, down with ECOWAS. That's what I'm trying to present you here in this brief analysis, guys, is for you to get a bird's view eye on the idea of how the landscape is. Not what you just read or hear. It's what's behind the scenes. Down with France, down with ECOWAS. It tells you right there. Because some member countries are seeing where the trends are headed, they could be next if they don't toe the line as far as supporting Niger, not the other way around, not supporting France. Because I can tell you, as an analyst, France is done in Africa. It's over. And one thing that a lot of people might not know is that both France and the US operate military bases in Niger. And they have been used, those military bases have been used for some ops. I was in Djibouti. That's all I can share with you guys. I'm very familiar with certain ops that have been launched from Niger because of our bases there back then. And not only those ops were sort of in a wider region across the continents. And this is why, once again, the ECOWAS military chiefs they're gonna convene tomorrow. Basically, even though they said, well, we're gonna convene on Saturday to draft a plan for military intervention. No. You are meeting on Saturday to get the marching order from France, from the EU, from the US. That's what it is. And here is the kicker to all this. Wait until you find out. The kicker of all this is this guy here. Well, not a guy, he's a president of Nigeria. Why is this important? Well, it's important to understand that Tinubu, president of Nigeria, he is facing right now backlash over military intervention in Niger. He's facing that in his country. And if you don't know anything about Nigeria, I'm sorry. Nigeria is a populated country. It's rich in oil. So Nigerian president Bola Tinubu, as I said, is facing huge backlash at home. We don't read much about it. And again, I read this stuff in French language. So some things get translated here in the US, sometimes it doesn't. If it serves the narrative, it gets translated to English. If it doesn't, well, too bad. Tough luck if you don't speak French for that. But I'm here to do this. That's my role here. That is the reason why I'm doing all this. You have to become aware. You have to become informed. And you have to start understand how to read between the lines when it comes down to geopolitics. Otherwise, you don't want to be like everybody else, just the crowd that goes with whatever the wind is blowing. No. You're better than that. And I know that. I know you are better than that. So Nigerian President Bola Tinubu is facing a huge backlash at home over his threat to use military force to reverse the coup in next door neighbor, Niger. Well, here is what has not been disclosed. And I'm going to disclose to you the historical background of this guy, the president of Nigeria. So this goes back to December 2022. Why is December? Because between December 4th and December 12th, I was aware of his trips to the EU and to the United States. Why did he travel there, do you think? Can anybody tell me? Let me just see. Where are my reading glasses? There we go. Can anybody tell me, why do you think he went to the EU and went to the US back in December 2022? Because remember, who was the president before him? It was Buhari. And the party took over politics in Nigeria. Question more. Yes, he was summoned. Not yet, because he wasn't president yet. Yeah, but good thinking. Money, of course. This is the whole reason for why. But also because at that time, he was running for office and he wanted to ensure the backup of the Western, because who were in the Sahel region? France, you got the EU, some members of the EU, and the US. So if he could get the support from those, and turn blind eye on what they are doing to the locals, that's good for him, because he was more politically driven. So he put the welfare of his political career before that of Nigerian people. This is why he's getting a backlash, because the backlash inside home is saying, how dare you to do this to Niger, for people asking what they want for their well-being, but also because he's nervous and scared he might be next. So what happened in December 2022? December 22, from, as I said, December 4th to December 12th of 2022, he took a trip, took trip to the EU countries. He met with global leaders to pitch, here's the key, to pitch his presidential aspiration. In a simple language, and I'm going to say it, he wanted there to say, hey guys, put me in charge and I will push your agenda. I will secure your interest at the expense of my own people. What a damn greedy, weak leader. When you put the welfare of your people at second, you know, leader. That's what it is. So here's what happened. So back then, he traveled to 4 Western capitals in Europe. And after that, so we're talking about London, Paris, then went to United States after that. And why he went again is to share his vision and plans to and also solicit the support of Western powers. Well, it's problematic right there. You couldn't seek the support of your own people? Come on. That says right there. And what makes it even problematic is that they're saying, yeah, he went there to seek the support of Western power for the democratic process. Do you see how they are using this word so loosely? So that is part of the problem with this individual here, right here. So I even found, and I'm going to share it with you. Let me get it here first, because you need to see how he was received, and I'll share the link. And I'm going to share first of all here. Yeah, check this out, guys. I'm going to share it with you. Share. Here we go. Share screen. Yeah. Look at this, guys. Look how he was received in Paris. It was in December. I'll let you just look. You reach your own conclusion for that. Of course, he's saying, this is my lovely wife, my former teacher.
No.
Did you know that Macron, his wife was his teacher? You know, the saying goes, the picture speaks louder than words. It's right there. Okay? So, and this is where the problem is. Let me share the link with you as far as that trip. Copy link. And because I read it, I think I can find I'm going to share it with you. I don't know if it's going to show up in French language. I know some of you do not read French, but beside the point. So you have at least, yes, TNT, you're right. He's a sellout. That's the only way you can describe it. You can sugarcoat it. He is a sellout, no different than the Prime Minister of Australia, and no different than now what is going to be happening soon. And I just find out this yesterday. I'm going to do a video for you. It's the link between US, South Korea, and Japan. You know what's going to be happening now? They're going to be doing yearly exercises between those 3 countries, selling out their country, Japan and South Korea. So you're absolutely correct, TNT is a sellout. So, and this is why local media sort of funny how it is about France. France, I tell you, yeah, era of France in Africa is over. It's done. So it's because there is a strong military strong opposition to military intervention. So even within Nigeria itself. You got senators now, but because what's his name, Mr. Tinubu, he's the chairman. He's not doing it for the welfare of Nigerian. He's doing it for his own political career. So, and this is why some even other countries nearby, which have like close borders of about 930 miles along border with Niger, saying, forget about it. You got to be out of your mind to allow that to happen. So the decision was very much seen by Mr. Tinubu as he's ECOWAS current chairman, and Nigeria is its most influential member. Well, just because you are the chairman doesn't give you the right to just abuse your power by saying, I'm going to conduct this despite what people want. This is where the problem is. So now there is another dimension that you need to know, because it's very, very important. And mark my word, it will not be explained to you through Western media. It won't. They won't. They won't. I'm going to leave this picture here for you guys while I'm explaining a few things, because it's very dynamic. So basically, what we, the United States, doing to France is stabbing France in its back. Because here is the thing. The military junta, the picture you are looking at, did you know that they are not criticizing the United States as much as they are criticizing France? They live in the US alone. Is it out of fear? No. It's because it's France that is exploiting. Yes, we do have a military installation there. I don't even know if it's going to stay open or not. My knowing what I know, it will. But there is now what's taking place is considered as a stab at France in its back, the same way we did with the Australian deal of the nuclear submarines. So this is how much it tells you, because the pacifists in Niger have not yet directed any threat or abuse at the United States. This is what's different. Nor have the angry population inside Niger that are demonstrating as we speak directed towards any of Americans' interests. That is and only against France, and only France that has received anger and insult that it has not been heard perhaps in decades in any African tongue or African dialect or language, whatever term you want to use. So here's the thing. If I'm to think as an analyst, I believe the military leaders in Niger that conducted the coup do not believe that Washington represents a threat similar, that's the key word, a threat similar to that of France. That's why it seems at first sight to observers and any other analyst thinking, who are not hiding from them? That is the way I see it. So the bottom line to this is that the French and the American possessions are not alike. So the US is letting France take the fall, throw it under the bus, because we're not coming to France's aid. You know, this is why I'm saying, guys, you think of the statements emanating from the ECOWAS similar to NATO, yet the division exists from within. As a matter of fact, now there are information coming up about the previous former president rather of France, Sarkozy. And this might shock you. Sarkozy might have ordered the killing of Gaddafi. Why, you may ask? It's because there was some money transfer from Gaddafi to the campaign of Sarkozy at that time. So I'll be happy to talk. There are some sensitive aspects to it, but I still can cover that one directly. But again, this is not reported in. This is not reported in English, so I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna share just the screen with you. Let me share screen with you here. And again, that's one of the advantages when you speak the language. So هل أمر بقتل القذافي? Did ساركوزي يشعل النار بحواره مع لوفيغارو? Did he order the killing of Gaddafi? Sarkozy fire up. So that's what I want you guys to understand. Is it just what you see or hear from mainstream media? Just always take a step back. Use your critical thinking. Use your critical thinking. You don't have to have a PhD. No. You just have to have common sense in thinking through the issues, and you will be able to see. So this is where, despite what you hear now about this, oh my gosh, that's gonna do this, gonna do that, and no, it just hypes. Here is another one that I wanted to share with you because I need you to see, and I'm gonna do a video for you guys about this one here. Yeah. Okay, check this out. What it says basically is that there will be yearly maneuvers, and this is a plan, an American, Japanese, South Korean plan to strengthen their military cooperation. Yeah. Well, we all know what it means. It doesn't take genius to figure it out. We all know what it means. And that's why I'm saying always think of the big picture, because it will provide you a better understanding. Then you can reach your own conclusion sort of convincingly. You're not being influenced by anyone else. It's yours. So that's why I wanted to come on the air and share this with you, because there's a lot of noise going on about this, and I want you to get to the heart of it to understand. I'm keeping an eye on that because I read the articles in French language, and I read the analysis that's coming out of even now. You have I haven't heard about. I think I have it somewhere here. Even Germany now is saying, well, we need to sort of support Niger and all that. Well, again, what they are not telling the people is that Germany, yeah, here it is. I found it, that the German foreign minister confirmed yesterday, Thursday, that it calls on the EU to impose sanctions on the leaders of the coup in Niger. So, adding that its foreign minister, Annalena Baerbock, held talks with her American and French counterparts. What they are not telling the Germans is that the German economy is collapsing. Yeah, it is collapsing through a slow recession. This is what they are not sharing with the people. I intend to do a video for you guys. As a matter of fact, I do have the link for that one. Is Germany's great economy sinking into a slow session? That's what they are not telling. So to them, when you come on the air like this and issue a statement like that by the foreign ministry and all, distraction. I mean, I look at it just for us here in the US. You all heard what happened in Maui. My heart goes out to these people. I've been in Hawaii, a wonderful place. And I'll say it, some Hawaiians never wanted to be associated with the US. It's because Hawaii was not part of the US. We kind of put their queen in prison back then. The truth matters. Truth matters. That's what I believe in. At least you have something to live for. and something to stand for instead of just following the crowd. Yeah, don't ever. Oh, TNT, thank you so much for your super sticker. I truly appreciate it. You wrote, it's good to see the African nation and countries starting to stand up for themselves. They've had enough. That's my thinking about it. And I just came back from Africa about 3 months ago. I was in North Africa. Morocco is different, but it's still in Africa. Africans had enough of the swindling of their resources. That's what's hardening. Massive natural resources, manpower. Did you know that the population of Africa, I'm talking about in general, the youth of it, how beneficial that's going to be for the progress of Africa moving forward? Because Africa is rich in natural resources. And yet France was, we're not just pointing fingers at France. By the way, let me just make that clear. We take a share of that too. The Germans, the Dutch, the Portuguese, the Spaniards, the Brits. There are those that are saying what China also. Yes, China is in Africa. I'm not denying this. Yes, China's conducting major projects, infrastructure. A big difference. I don't defend China. I don't speak on behalf of China. I don't speak on behalf of anybody but myself. Because it's on me. If I make a mistake, it's me. I don't shift the blame. I have the courage to come forward and say, I am sorry, I made a mistake. So China is there. Russia is there. Yes, they are after their own interest, but how they are going about it, it's a win-win. At least in certain parts of Africa, you're seeing an improvement of infrastructure. That airport our Secretary of State landed on last time, it was built by the Chinese. What did France do? It's reality. It's reality. So, once again, thank you so much, TNT. I appreciate it. I appreciate your support. What I was going to say. Oh, KLM, I want to say thank you also, man. Truly appreciate it. I truly appreciate it, KLM. As you know, guys, I gave up the full-time teaching position just to do this. So, and it's time consuming to gather the information. And now that I have the other 2 channels that I have to also manage with, it's a responsibility. I know what I'm getting into as far as spending time in the research, whatever. It's worth it. It's worth it for me because sometimes I get up in the middle of the night, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'll just sit down and ask myself, what am I here for? What am I doing? Yeah. If you don't ask yourself that question, I urge you to start asking yourself. Yes, it's hard to face oneself. It's hard, but it's also good because it'll broaden your horizons in understanding really what your mission is, what really your mission in life is. It's not about just the materialistics, that stuff. As you grow older, when you get to my age, I know some of you might think I'm in my late 30s. I just take care of myself health-wise. And that is the reason, again, why I decided to do the health channel, is because I wanted to share the knowledge with you. So thank you so much, Gail. All right, guys, just be on the lookout. I did a video for you, by the way, give you a heads up about what's going on in Argentina. It's a lot of people have no clue what's taking place right now, especially with the guy who is running for next president of Argentina. Wait until you hear what I have to say once I release the video in a few days. So my editor is working on it as we speak. All right, guys. Once again, just make sure to check that health channel. Let me post it again just for those who might have come in late. And I would really appreciate it if you guys can subscribe to that channel. Copy hyperlink here. And again, I'm going to have a guest next week, a professional or a health professional to address some issues you need to know to understand about. Literally, I'm also in the process of reaching out to two guests on the geopolitical aspects of it, and I'll have them here once we confirm the dates and so forth. All right, guys, I hope you find this very informative, and I look forward to seeing you next time. As always, remember geopolitics impact your daily life in more ways than one. Till next time, guys. Bye bye.